So, we will be having the panel of discussion now while I introduce our panelists. And I'll just mention their school. Miss Ebon. Sorry, I keep saying Miss. I'm sorry. Mrs. Ebon Oluwa Omeiza, TMU, and I have my sister here, Ulo Ofichi, University of London Met. London Metropolitan. All right. Yeah. So I have the Honorable Minister. Where is Temi now? Temi of Greenwich. You here, University of East London. Those are the panelists for this session. And the discussion, because we are focusing on the UK, and the question is how UK universities are supporting agency and international students amid policy shift and recruitment challenges. How UK universities are supporting agencies and international students amid policy shift and recruitment challenges. So you two can delve into the questions while they answer. So that's just the question. Let me recap the question again. How UK universities are supporting agencies and international students amid policy shift and recruitment challenges.
One of the reasons why we actually put this panel discussion in place is because we are trying to assess our agents and also the international students. We want to ensure that we are getting the right information. We want to ensure that you know how these schools will be able to actually help you to be able to actually solve the issues of some of these things, the changes in policies and immigration rules and all of that. So we have this focus for UK, Canada. We have 2 sessions for UK because that's our biggest market, of course. So this is very important that we take note on how, especially for schools that are actually present here, because of course they'll be focusing on themselves and tell you how the schools will be able to actually help you achieve your numbers for 2026. Thank you.
All right, where do I start from? Madam Chief.
Good morning, everybody. So my name is Choma. Choma is Okafo. For those who have my contact, they will see I set my number as Choma of Law. So if you have my WhatsApp number, whether or not you see it in the contact is very, very involved. So I represent the University of Law, England, Wales, and the entire UK. So for one of the reasons why we are supporting Crizac as a university and as a top institution in the UK is majorly for one thing. We are that university that are concerned for our international students. We set our students up for success from the get-go, from while they're still in Nigeria, while they're still reaching out to you as agents, deciding for them what schools to choose and apply to. I'll just give you a few points why you should reach out to your students and make sure, convince them, advise them, counsel them on why they should opt for the University of Law. One of our most unique selling points is the fact that we have this phrase that we call our employment promise. It's a real thing. It's literally here on the flyer. So our employment promise, there is no other university in the UK I've seen that has assured their international students of employment after graduation. Aside the regular 20 hours per week while you study law that we constantly allow assist our students to get, there is no struggle from Nigeria here. We get their offers, do their credibility interviews. The interviews, they don't have to pay for those who cannot stand within any session. Our interviews are pre-recorded. What they just need to do is to upload the interview. They can have as many takes as they want to have, upload their best shots, and of course that's why everybody passes their credibility as interviews. Another reason is the fact that this employment promise is such that we tell our agents that we are sure that your students are going to succeed after graduation, to the point that if after 9 months, post-graduation, they don't have a job, the University of Law is refunding 100% of the tuition fees back. It's literally here. It's here. So we have, that's our employment promise at the University of Law. There is no university in the entire United Kingdom that can give you that. Imagine studying courses like project management, LLM, LLB, because we don't have a course. The University of Law for starters is not just okay, as the name implies, definitely we are the biggest legal education provider in the entire United Kingdom. That's the no-brainer. It's the University of Law. But we also have other programs aside the University of Law. The banner is over there. We offer undergraduate and postgraduate programs in law, business, criminology, policing, psychology, computer science, and AI and the likes. Of course, we don't have life science courses. We don't have MS. Let me just put it out there. We have every other master's program, MSc, ME, this and that, but not MS. And of course, we don't have any NG as well. But your engineering graduates can actually take on project management as a master's program. There are various points to consider studying at the University of Law. The tuition fee refund is 100%, 50% cashback, and the 50% towards as credits towards another course. If you study project management, for example, and you feel like, okay, after ticking all the boxes, and you drag out to 9 months' time, you're getting 50% back for cash, and the 50% towards another course. So the year you'll be asked, okay, so what course do you think you can succeed in this time around? You can say, okay, I've been getting opportunities more for cybersecurity management. I think I want to do something on that. That's literally getting another degree literally one tuition fee while you have the cashback. So students are promised that, and of course, our law graduates can literally practice law in the UK. They can get called to bar for the LLB students and all that. So without further ado, our scholarship, we have a limited scholarship discount of 2,500 for all campuses outside of London and 3,000 pounds for all campuses within London. We have 7 campuses in total, 5 campuses outside London, 2 campuses within London. So there is no place your student wants to go to that we don't have a campus in. I will stop here for now and maybe hopefully take questions later. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let me move to my sister, Timmy.
Good everyone. My name is Timmy Adiemi and I'm the regional representative at the University of Greenwich. Okay, so to answer the question, I would say that UK has actually been a dynamic, UK's education has always been dynamic, right? And we have all seen the changes, the visa, of course, that the UK are also looking to reduce the duration. So as stakeholders in the industry, whether the institutions, agents, and international representatives, I feel like there's a need for us to work together to ensure that we work towards a goal, which is to reassure students about the fact that UK is actually a welcoming study destination. Supportive, not just welcoming and supportive study destinations for them. So at the University of Greenwich, the way we support our students, I would say number one is the fact that we ensure that to ensure that all our agents and students are aware about these changes and how these changes affect them, and also to open their eyes to see the opportunities even in the midst of these changes. Right. Secondly, we also offer lots of support for our international students. International student recruitment is not just about application. We have to support students from the application stage up until their arrival and even till they graduate. As my colleague already said, Canary Wharf, we're very close to Canary Wharf, which is one of the main business hubs within the UK, with headquarters and working businesses across different sectors. And we partner with all these companies to provide job placements, not all, sorry, most of these companies to provide job placement and internship opportunities for our students. And then aside that, as an institution, we also employ 350 students every year through our student ambassador scheme. You know, the reason we do this is to ensure that students have the required work experience even before they complete their program. Something they can include in their CV, you know, that will give them a head after they complete their program at the university and when they're looking for jobs. Right? So we do this, and then to also make it easier, we know how international education is actually not cheap. A lot of students are now asking questions about what are returns on investment, what are the support we make in terms of part-time jobs and all this. So we try our best to provide support for students to ensure that they are gainfully employed during and outside their studies at the University of Greenwich. You know, and also to make it easy for them to pay their fees because, of course, you guys have requested for it, and then we have listened to your request and we are implementing that. Here's something new that we have actually introduced for the September 2025 intake is to introduce a more flexible payment plan for our students. So from September intake, our students have the opportunity to pay the remaining balance of their fees in 5 installments after they have completed their registration. Yeah, make your request to Crizac and come to us to ensure that the requests are resolved, you know, properly so that you're able to support students. If we don't, I mean, before you know it, students will go from Greenwich to another school. So we try as much as possible to provide all the support to our students. Yes, so I'm just going to stop here for now. And if you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
Please, you can write down your questions in case you want to ask questions. All right. I wouldn't want to punish you, but I want to advise that you stand up while that's the complaint that many people are not seeing you at the back. So over to you. And if is there a punishment?
Hi everyone. Good. Can you hear me at the back? My name is Edwin. I represent Scott University. We are located in Leicester and Scott University. PMU. Scott University is located in Leicester and London. We just opened our London campus in September 2025, and we have 3 courses on that campus. The campus also functions for students that want to study or that want to study something around engineering. So how we support agents and partners is that, like my colleagues have actually said, we help our students with practice for credibility interviews. Now, I know that when we started credibility interviews in 2022, a lot of people complained that it was too tedious, a lot of questions. But we can see now that we are having UKBI had interviews with students, and these same questions are what help students. Even when students get called to the UKBI office or called on MS Teams after they have submitted their visas, we realize that those questions that we asked them during the credibility interviews are still what are relevant during this time. So that's one way we support our students and our agents. Another way we support them is making sure that all application supporting documents are complete before even like reaching the stage of conditional offers. And why we request that everything is complete is that it will help smoothing out the process and ease of the stress of delays. You won't have those back and forth, oh, I'm moving on, I'm waiting on my student's conditional offer. I don't know where what stage my student is at. I assure you that at the point of where the student meets the entry criteria, they can then transit into getting their conditional offer and also getting their own conditional offer. We also support our students, even when they have gotten into the UK, some of them find it difficult to relocate to university, or maybe don't know what to do for enrollment. We help them to make sure that they get support even as they get into the UK. They also get support after enrollment, like make sure they settle into their accommodation. I still have students that even called like yesterday saying they're getting to the UK, they need to settle into their accommodation, and we have to make sure that they get accommodation that suits their needs. So I don't know if there are any other things that I have not talked on, but if you have any questions, please write them down and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Very brief. Thank you so much, Auntie. Where's my mic?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lisa Wampo. I represent Okay, my name is Rita Wampo and I represent Edinburgh Nigerian University. Edinburgh Nigerian University is the city of Edinburgh. Not Edinburgh, Edinburgh is. Sorry, Edinburgh. I know that you can call it Edinburgh, but it is not Edinburgh. The correct pronunciation is Edinburgh. When you find yourself in Scotland or if you're a student, when you find yourself call it Edinburgh, nobody will know what you are saying. The target is now. So Edinburgh University is located in the city of Edinburgh, Scotland. While answering this question, I will try to give some empirical example of what is presently happening. Okay. So regarding to what is happening currently, we all know that some students, after being interviewed here in Nigeria or at the embassy, when they get to airport, they still interview them, and some students they are sent back. I don't know if you have some students. I have some that came to me crying, want me to perform magic within 24 hours, but I tried. Okay, so basically, some students that we are sent back that are from our schools that did not join, I think this started this September ending, that we are sent back. We are trying as much as we can to give them extra scholarship, especially those that have not traveled. Okay, we try as much as we can to give them extra scholarship to enable them to be able to pay extra fee that they might incur. Okay, so some of the counselors might know because yesterday I was compiling them of students that are yet to travel, and some students do not actually know the reason why I'm contacting them because they were asking me some lots of questions. We are doing it because we are trying to help them in this journey. I know that it's not easy. They have spent a lot of money. So that's the number one. Number two, the city of Edinburgh is an employable society. 97% of our graduates are currently at work, while some are in further education. Okay, so we try as much as we can to work together with some organizations, with some industries, possibly some students. If you have some students that are currently studying at Edinburgh, then you can equally ask them some questions. They will tell you that sometimes some organizations comes while lecture is going on to advertise their existing role. All right. So I'm going to make it short, but I'm trying as much as I can to pick out points from what is currently happening in Nigeria, how UK government is trying to frustrate students. So yes, I can say that we are doing the little way we can because we know that it's not easy. Money is going, emotional trauma is equally going, and time wasted. Thank you very much.
All right, I would like to chip in this before we continue. Do not be discouraged with this current trend. It comes and it goes away. Don't be discouraged with this trend. It has happened in the past. It will still happen again in the future. It's just like coronavirus. It will still come again. So, but still, yes. Hello. Okay. I stand on my own opinion. We will always have a bend, then you turn to the straight way. So it will always come, but we will overcome the challenges. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Destiny. Recruitment officer for Sub-Saharan Africa, University of East London. Most of our courses, they come with work placement. So I know that this is something that a lot of students from Nigeria look forward to, as it gives them the opportunity to, work in the UK and garner the experience that they need, that is relevant to the program that they're studying. And some other things that we do in terms of fees, and this is only peculiar to the Nigerian market. We decided that to make things a lot easier for students from Nigeria, we give them the opportunity to pay our fee, our deposit is 30%. However, to make it a lot easier for them, we give them the opportunity to pay £1,500 as an initial deposit so they can carry on with the process of the application, process the application, pay their deposit, get onto the class stage, do all that they need to do their pre-class interview, right? We make it that easy for students. However, before they will be eligible to receive their class, we ensure that they have paid 30% of their overall tuition fee. This is something that is only applicable to the Nigerian market. For other countries, it is quite different. And then we also offer up to £3,000 discount. It is important to note that I said up to £3,000, meaning that students can get 1,000, 2,500, 2,000, depending on the course they're interested in studying. So it is not fixed per se. So the course determines the discount that they will be getting. Also, we have a team that supports students. What this means is that before students get onto the pre-class interview, we have a team that calls students to coach them, or like have them go through the questions together, kind of questions that they'll be expecting on the pre-class interview. So we do that with students just so that before they get onto that stage, they know what to expect, they know how to answer the questions and all of that. So these are some of the ways we support students. If I may also add, University of Greenwich here is one of our competitors, so to say. So that the universities that look up to, and I'm sure they look up to us. So these are just some of the ways that we support students. We understand that the market is ever changing, and we try to see how best we can support students. If a student makes an application, trust me, there's someone right there at the back end that is there to reach out to you to know how they can support you, provide all the support that you need or your students need. And as an agent as well, I try to make myself available. I know I just started this position, but I know that someone from Crizac has recently reached out to me, and I try to provide all the necessary support, as we know that this is very essential, to provide the necessary information that agents or students need every now and then, just to make the process a lot easier for everybody. So if there's anything that you'd like to add, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help. Thank you.
All right. On this note, I would like to entertain about 5 questions. So, all right. 1, please, no leading questions, please. No leading questions. 1, yes. Hello. Yes. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, number 1. Can you please step forward, sir? If your voice is audible enough, then you can go ahead.
So, I don't know if the rep from Aston University. Okay, I would like to know that rep. Okay. Okay, I might want to give the person a gift. Oh. Yes. I almost had issues. I just came on board with Crizac, and I love the fact that your platform makes it easy for people to apply.
Thank you so much.
It's not the one that you go into and then you're do this and this. Just put in the document. So I find that fascinating, and that got me on board. But Aston University frustrated my life. Yes, because they were actually exposing my student to my source. You guys are our source. Students shouldn't know, you know, Crizac. As a matter of fact, as small or as big as we are, we also have sub-agents. I mean, I have friends, I recruited, and they're giving me students, they are agents. If you know Crizac, they'll just boycott. You understand? And then I applied through Crizac for Aston University. And what Aston does, they'll just send a mail to the student and telling the student that your application submitted by Crizac Limited under the business name, blah, 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 has been submitted. I mean, you just tell the student what, what platform you use. Now, as a matter of fact, students believe that we are the university. They believe, oh, I'm talking to the university. And I have some agents as well. You know, some agents that do all these COS, work visas, all these European countries. Then you collaborate with them and they're bringing students to you for education. Immediately they know about Crizac, they just leave you and go and sign up with Crizac. So that very angle where you see change goes off. And so I was really mad with Taiwo, and I said I want to in fact, that's the reason I think this meeting. It's either I fight Crizac or Aston. But he has told me that the issue is with Aston. Because other universities don't send such a mail to students. Me, I'm trying to get that mail here if I can see it. Okay, you guys know about it. Ah, please, they say question. I'm the first person to raise up my hand. All of you should raise up my hand. All right.
Thank you so much. Please, let's encourage him by clapping for him. Sincerely, it's not easy to come out and ask questions. He has just told us his grievance. Thank you so much. That will be worked on. Number two, would you answer that? All right. The second person should please step forward. Thank you. Please hurry up, sir. Please just go straight to your question. If you have questions or just one question, just go straight to them.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Olu Bisayo. My question, like contribution of, I don't know if it's a question, and directed to everybody, all the representatives. First thing I have with my students is they are scared with this immigration issue, this white paper and stuff like that. And I'm very sure the university is one of the major contributors of financial contributors to the UK. We know how much their national students are paying. And we know how much international students are bringing. In fact, universities agree that the money from international students they are using to run the university. So I believe they should have a stake in making decisions that affect their students. Because some people are saying, I want to go. All of us know why people are traveling. Let's be sincere with ourselves. We know why they are traveling, just because of the immigration issue. And they want to stay. But when they start hearing, oh, it is 18 months now, it can even reduce to less than 18 months later and every day. Nobody wants to waste almost 20 million to travel just for them to say, pack your load and return back home after 1 year. So I believe as representative, we need to reach back to our universities and let them know these are the fears that our students are facing. And if they have those fears, if you see, since they started low dependent, this issue, students have started dropping. And that is just a fact. If you continue like that, if they are not so sure that their stay is guaranteed, and it is we agents that were on the field that face this problem, because they start asking you questions as if I'm the immigration officer or I'm UKVI. So please help us work on that. Let us give our university the feedback and let them be able to make contributions to the UKVI concerning things that affect them.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Who want to respond? You want to respond?
Just to address your comment, right? It's a very valid comment, but one thing I like to do in this field of work is to uh, create an distinction between my role as a student recruitment officer and an immigration officer. Truth be told, this is a profession, so I think it's advisable for everyone to have that demarcation. Yes, we know that students are, most of them are going to study because they want that immigration benefit, which is fantastic. But again, you cannot advise students on immigration benefits or immigration routes, which most likely yourself don't know about. Now, coming back to the immigration opportunities students have, we are aware that across all the destinations, this is what students are looking for. However, what I like to tell international students is if you're going to the UK, US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, it's expensive. If you're going to any of these destinations, you are an international student. You have global certificate. So why do you want to limit yourself to working with a particular country where you're studying? Also taking into consideration that the employment environment now, the employment ecosystem is global. You can sit in Nigeria and work for a company in Canada. You can sit in the UK and work for a company in Australia. So I think to tackle the immigration scare of students, we also need to start telling them this, that the qualification you're going to earn in any country you're going to is an international qualification. So why do you want to limit yourself to searching for jobs or opportunity or immigration opportunity only within the country you're studying in? Why not spread your wings? Again, education and immigration, they are two different things, and I always encourage agents or counselors not to mix those two together. Trust me, Nigerian students, you know them, you've been working with them for a long time. They will say you are the one that said. So I just like to encourage everyone. I know everyone is an expert in their field, but personally, I like to demarcate those two things. I'm a student recruitment professional. I would not advise you on immigration. If you want advice on immigration, most of these countries they have the immigration side. They have a requirement with clearly spelled out for students. Thank you.
I'm sorry, apologies. I don't want to sound rude. I don't want to be like one of their adults. Please, round of applause for her again. Oh, go. Oh, G before I G. Any other comment from you?
Just to add to what Abiodun has said, it is very important for us to manage student expectations because if you don't do this, like she has said again, at the end of the day, they are going to coach you. Some persons have sold dreams to people and not the reality. So try as much as you can to manage student expectations. They are going to come with a lot of questions, asking you things even you may not have an answer to, or that is not has not been clearly stated. So just try as much as you can to manage expectations. Thank you.
Thank you. I have seen students.
Good afternoon, everybody. All right. I just want to talk to Crizac specifically because I feel it's kind of that not be out of place to invite maybe KVI immigration expert or officers to talk on immigration issues. Like there's clarity because there's a lot of confusion and there's a lot of questions from us, from us. So I think maybe going forward, this kind of gathering of good if you guys can make provision for that.
Thank you. That's duly noted. And what I want to add is that while managing expectation of students, be careful with your own career as well. This is a career, and you wouldn't want anybody to mess it up for you because that's where you earn your living from. Be careful of what you share, information you share with students. I have had an experience with a non-university rep that says a student put in on recording while he was trying to advise. And unknown to the student, to the university rep, the students played that or shared that information in the larger group. But yes, but the guy was experienced enough for his lawyer to have written to that student. That was how the whole thing got guys down. Please, let's manage their expectation. Don't promise them heaven and earth. While you are trying to make money, don't give yourself problems. Thank you. The third person, please. The third person.
So my questions will be directed to University of Ireland, University of Ireland. And it's about first the institution, what's the total? We've heard the scholarship cards, and what is the deposit or cash? 30% of how much? So want to know that. Then also, it's a good thing to hear that installment or payment plan for going to now 5 installments. So how does this work? I know the school has a £3,000 tuition deposit because the first installment comes upon enrollment, so we need to know that. Then I think also for which I expected from the discussion, especially it's the way the rep on University of Law started it. Let's know, is there a change to the entry requirement also? If there is anything, let's be specific so we can know. And availability of MRES. So it's something we're very, very concerned about as agents now, because I think these days almost everybody that message you wants to know about MRES because that's the first pathway to take independent out of the country. So let's know. And for payments plan and all, does what applies to MRES, does it apply to normal MSc? That's
Thank you very much. For the University of Law, thank you for that question, sir. For the University of Law, the tuition fee ranges between 14 to 17,000, depending on the course you are applying for. Inclusive of scholarship, whether bursary inclusive or exclusive. Regularly, the gross tuition is ranges from 14 to, let me say 20, because MBA costs 20, but by the time we minus the 6,500 pounds discount that we give an MBA, for September intakes only, we're down to 14,000 again. So let's just range it between 14 to 16, 17,000-ish. For the deposit, it's 8,000 pounds, 50%. It wasn't like that before, but now, due to, that's why I'm promising employment, so don't worry, we give to take, or we take to give. If we take to give, actually, so that's also why we're flying the employment promise flag in your faces to let you, and we're still going to pay the fees. I many other schools, my colleagues are here, by the time we're going to finish shift pass, we're going to have paid 8,005 already. So if they collect 4,000, not to put you guys down, but I have to say this again. If you collect 4,000 and you collect 3,500 before you travel or before compensation, it's the same thing as paying 5 or 9,000, but you are just asking for 8,000 one of before pass is issued. Okay, for the payment plan, the payment plan, let's work with 14,000 pounds for instance. Payment plan is in 3 equal installments. Nobody's asking for any fee before you travel, when you arrive, before classes start, a week after, So the first time you're paying an installment, your servicing installment is 1 month after your classes have resumed. Let's say you paid your 8,000, you have 6,000 balance. You pay the first 2,000 a month after resumption. Then 3 months after that last payment, you pay another 2,000. Another 3 months after that last payment, you pay another 2,000 pounds. Before the year is over, your student is not paying their fees, no UK visa issues, no provision issues, no students own school issues. Your good, your students is good. They are working, when they graduated, they're going to have a job, they're going to practice. And their job is not in just anyhow migration, international student job. it's a highly skilled qualification job. Like for example, the students is studying banking and finance, for example, and they want to work in a bank, they want to get a managerial position, they literally will get such jobs after graduation because the University of Law works with 94 out of the top 100 law firms that we have in the UK. And then we have many partners. The University of Law is more than 50 years old and counting. So we have many partners. The whole many of them is an alumni of the University of Law. We have a very strong alumni network across our schools in all campuses to give employment to students literally. So I know it may sound very £8,000 so big, but it saves everyone the stress, of balance the need, and anybody can actually pull up from their pocket when they get to the university. Thank you.
All right, to answer the question, University of East London, our tuition fee ranges from 15,000 to 18,000 pounds. And what that means is that with the 3,000 pounds, up to, or most likely between 1,000 to 2,500 students would likely get, depending on what course they're going for. The tuition fee will be reduced further. Our highest tuition fee is our MBA course. And in terms of payment plan, just in case I missed that the last time, we have up to 4 payment plans. So basically what that means is that the student is enrolling in September. The next payment comes up by October, the next one by November, the next one by December, and even up to January, they would have completed their payment. So that's how our payment plan is being completed. Regarding entry requirements, for our programs, our entry requirements are pretty easy. It's almost the same for every other person here. We require, for our English requirements, we require a minimum of a C for WAEC or NECO. We also do require students to have a 2-2 for most of our courses. Only a few courses require students to have a 2-1. So this is basically the same thing for most universities. And for our MRES program, just so everyone knows, we do have MRES, or rather it was available for September intake, but it is not, okay, yeah, you can communicate with Crizac regarding that, so, yeah.
So for the University of Greenwich, our fees ranges from 17,975 up to 31,000 pounds. So most of our one-year master's degree program range from 17,975 up to 18,700, and then 21,000 pounds for our 2 years master's degree program that comes with placements. Then we offer for the January intake, we're offering up to 2,000 discount to international students. For the September intake, we actually offered 4,000 automatic discount for students, but that's not available this January. Yeah, then in terms of payment plan, our deposit remains £3,000, and then students are expected to pay up 50% on enrollment to complete their registration. This is actually like 1 month after their arrival in the UK, and then the remaining 50% balance can be paid in 5 equal installments on a monthly basis. So they have the opportunity to split the payment in 5 installments. Then for MS, MS courses are currently on hold, so we won't be running MS program for the January 2026 intake. And another thing I forgot to mention is that we'll be launching nursing top-up for the January intake. And yes, I know that this will be an exciting news for everyone. More details we'll share that private and of course we'll share with you as well. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. So I forgot to mention earlier that for payment plan, students just has to pay up to 30, not up to, have to pay 30% of the overall tuition. So if the tuition fee is maybe 15,730, after discount that would have been brought down to 12,000 or thereabouts. Student only has to pay 30% of that tuition fee. Yes, to qualify for class. That's all. And they'll be able to receive that class, get onto the UK and do the enrollment and stuff, and then continue the payment, like I said. And something else I was going to mention. Whatever it is, I will communicate with Crizac and reach out to them.
All right. Let me share this with everybody. One of our partner called me sometimes last month that she posted about MRES on her Instagram account, and the account was brought down immediately. She was trying to, she called me to narrate what happened, but I don't have power over that. But this is what I just want you to understand. Advertising MRES is not in good tune with UKVR. In all honesty, I have been in a webinar. I can't remember the name of the university. I was seeing a UKVI staff on that call, just for you to understand how they are doing their due diligence about this MRES. So MRES, let's be cautioned with it. The last question in the house, please.
Each and every one of our representatives here, the school representative, to also give us the same details about the question thing. Because a lot is really happening now. Thank you.
A lot is happening.
Hi everyone. Good morning. So my question goes to Crizac and mostly of Donapia. So for Crizac, I will appreciate if there's a group. Like there are some cases that we have impromptu message to have to rep. I'll call on okay, schedule and alike, but sometimes they do refer me to maybe John or some people or still I don't get instant messages. You understand? So if you can create a group for, I don't know if I'm speaking everybody's mind, or probably if I'm not the one in the group, I don't know, but we need a group like a WhatsApp group where you can drop a message and get instant response. You understand that? And secondly, I observe it's just UK word talking here. I don't know. Yeah, I will appreciate if they can talk for maybe Canada or other schools. And secondly, majorly, why people are talking about MS, it's not all about MS thing, but we independent. So if you can emphasize more on schools that accept dependents, if they have any, like apart from UK. Do you understand? Outside UK, I'm talking of outside UK. That's what I'm saying. It's not just UK work here. I should talk. Do you understand? Yeah, so maybe their tuition fields, like Finland and the like. You get. Then for Edibonapia, sorry, I have a student. I don't know if I should come meet you. Maybe one-on-one thing. Someone went this September intake, and he's an undergraduate student. So when he got there, he's an engineering student specifically, and you observe that he's really well in the lecture room, like in his department. So he felt discouraged, and also the tuition. So I don't know if there's any assistance. In fact, it was like coming back home. So he's not finding it based on the fact that he's starting from foundation, and he have a lot to pay. I think he doesn't really have much sponsor. So he said his father will be sponsoring. Maybe something came up. You understand? So there's like disagreement. His father is not ready. So I don't know if there's anything you can do to that. I'll come see you later. Thank you.
All right. Just to play the here, as regards our first question. One house, please. One house. Now, we represent the university. In all sincerity, the university do not know you in all sincerity. So the hardest we can do is to have this kind of relationship. That we have any question or queries about a university to be directed to myself or any of my colleagues. You know why? I have seen agents sending email right to the school, and that causes a lot of confusion. So please, even if you have a relationship with that university rep, route those questions back to Crizac, please, to avoid issues. ENU. Ask the question. This student you're talking about, is it a one student or ENUIC? ENUIC. I don't cover ENUIC. All right. So what you can do, you can reach out to me, and I will give you contact TRF. Because you cannot tell me that you're one student, as in the class, you are the only student. It's unbelievable. But if ENUIC is possible, because that's pre-masters, not direct masters. All right. Thank you. Yes.
So I think somebody mentioned it. Talk about tuition. So for the Montfort University, undergraduate starts from 16,250 or 16,750. Now that's 16,750 pounds. Now the student has a 2,000 pounds discount, so it brings down the tuition fee to 14,250 or 14,750. What we expect or what is expected of students is for September intake, they can do a deposit of 1,000 pounds to secure that deposit. Or you see, they need to pay up to 50% before they get their cards. Same thing applies for postgraduates. We have from 16,800 all the way to 25,000 pounds. Some courses under postgraduate have 2,000 pounds discount or up to 3,005 pounds discount. Same thing applies. You can pay 1,000 to secure deposit and then pay up to 50% before they receive their card. I think that answers the question.
Please come, sir. That will be the last. No. Sir, Oba, about. I comment my reserve. Respectfully, sir. Respectfully, sir. Is it to us?
All right, thank you. I'll make this very snappy. About the tuition fees and deposit and installment, fine. I think what is very germane to our gathering are issues that are posing obstacles to our success, which is the recent UKBI activities in Nigeria, and sending emails to students for another interview. I have a student right now, he couldn't fly. They in fact invited him to the British High Commission Center in BI, and they drilled him, checked his bank statement. The UKBI rep even was requesting 6-month bank statement. So he was like, go to your bank history. My student said, oh, that's my privacy. He said, no, except you are having something to hide. So he went to his bank history and was like, let me see 6 months. He said, no, the the embassy requires just 28 days. He said, okay, let's go 3 months. He said, no, it should be 28 days. I'm telling you, and this is a student that already has a visa. Now, long story short, he was told that he will hear from the UKBI. So it's like they're going to revoke the visa. I don't know, just because of that. Now, my point is, you said something, somebody said something here, you're like, you help students with pre-pass interview and all of that. I realize that people who the UKVI denied that they conducted interview for, all the questions that were asked were still pre-pass interview, and yet they failed them. I have about 5 people I'm applying for right now who UKVI conducted interview for and denied them, failed them, visa. They're not even my students. They came from any other places and they're like, oh, UKVI denied me visa, and now they want to reapply. Now the question is, the school is the sponsor of the student. I think if there's any denial, we should also get a backup from the university. Is there any correspondence that it will expect from the university? And what is the support? Aside the fact that you people help us to, change offer letter and we give it to people like Crizac, and Crizac delivers to us. What is the institution, the schools as an institution? What are you doing to fight for students? You understand? Massive denial rate. I mean, say pre-pass interview question. I have some on my phone, and when you read it, every answer the student gives to the UKVI interview then says your answer is vague and generic. What are the course module? Students don't know the course module of what they are going for. They go to the website of the university to read the course module, right? Now, this very particular one, the UKVI denied the student, and they said that open source shows that the student didn't really talk about the course module as if, I mean, what you have not learned before you're going for, how could you say it in your own, with your own authority? So what they're trying to say is that it was like the student crammed the course module and downloaded it, like not really coming from the student. So everything was based on vague and generic. Now, that should be a challenge to the UKVI by the university to say we did pre-pass interview with the student. This same question you asked, the student answered and we were satisfied. Here's the reason why we gave the pass. On what occasion have you denied the student? It should be that thing. So I want you, university rep, have a meeting with your university as an institution. And is it Crizac or the university I want to talk about I want to address this to? We should also have a support system for students who are denied. A lot of immigration lawyers are there. If you ask them how much they want to charge, £500, £700, £600, the cheapest one I found was £200. I mean, if we can get immigration lawyer for people they denied, and you can reappeal, because I've seen a reappealing case and the visa was actually granted. I also have another student who called in and said he was denied because UKVI told him. He stated in his letter that he really doesn't look like a student. You understand? He really doesn't show like a student. This man is a police officer. He got letter from the AIG to further his master's. He read like Crizac. Let's get more support. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so apparently I work with Crizac University as application and manager. Okay, yeah, the thing is, this actually mentioned exactly a very sensitive one. Having that count of visa against their sponsorship. No university wants a student to the visa. And when there is one visa refuser, when there is two visa refuser, when there is two visa refuser, it's counting the university sponsorship. You might not know, there are a lot of universities that might lose their license if the number of visas that they are applying is actually high. And that's actually why the university actually always try to keep the admissions and compliance in place. For us at Crizac University, when it comes to maintenance, we know we are actually we scrutinize every document applicant provides when it comes to maintenance, because we actually verify from the source before we even assign a pass. So other agents might say that our process is actually very bogus or something, but we actually are trying to protect our license in as much as we don't want students to have a visa, and also we are also trying to protect our license along the way. So when it comes to credibility interview, it's actually a very dicey point. The student might have a successful pre-pass interview with the university, and maybe when they are with chief guys, they end up maybe being nervous and they end up saying the wrong thing. And when you check most of the visa refusals letters being issued, although UKVI will say that their responses are vague, but they still always do elaborate as to why they say that the responses are vague. Let's say, for instance, we've seen people visa refusals based on why have you chosen to study in the UK. A student actually mentioned that they thought to study in the UK because their friends recommended that. I understand that it's something we can just say casually, but at the same time, we are trying to ask a new student. In as much as we understand that, and let me use their plan, that's actually what we want to do. But at the same time, it's important to know that the major reason why we are actually going to it, our number one priority is to study. Because if we don't end up getting access, or even when we are in the UK and at the end of the day, we are trying to just make money and we don't pass our course, there's high possibility will send us back. And another thing is there's this policy that even if you fail your studies, even after you've graduated, they are trying to wait that you won't get to apply for the post study. That's something that is still actually going on. So it's important. I understand credibility interview is important. We do mandatory questionnaire in our own section. we don't actually do papers interview for our people. But one thing we've noticed is that I'm actually saying it openly. Students and agents, and at times I understand that some agents don't actually allow the students to actually do this stuff themselves. I understand that it might be strenuous. You actually want the process very fast. But then you doing the credibility questionnaire for your students, just so that you can make the process fast, it's not helping them. You need to let them get involved in all the process. For instance, at our office, we call students when they have issues or when we have to ask a question with our participants. And at some point, at point of calling them, we end up seeing that it's agents that we are speaking with. Why would you put your phone number or your email in the contact for the agents? Really, these are some of the major issues. And some of them will say they don't actually have no idea of what the applicant ID is, what their course is. I'm not applying to study at any university, but the first thing is if they ask me the course module of a course, even though I can check the website or even though I've not taught any of these courses, I can on my head explain little thing about this. UKGI is not asking you to tell them the big English as to why this is the course module. I'm going to study sustainability in English university. They want you to at least have a little bit knowledge, even if it is layman knowledge, have that idea about the course. Some of these students actually don't have this. And for us at university, when you are actually based on credibility, it's actually something that is actually very, very dicey because there's nothing we can mitigate that way. Let's assume it's maintenance. It's easy to mitigate. It might be an error, maybe because your funds got short or something. It's easy to mitigate. But when it comes to credibility, it's actually very dicey because it won't prompt us to want to issue you another class immediately. Because what is the assurance that when you are called for the interview again, you would actually pass? So that's actually why when you are actually based on credibility, like we are not always very prompt to assign a new class to you. We can actually get yourself a little bit of time to understand why you actually want to go for this study. Then you can come back maybe after a year and reapply if you still desire to come and study at like university. I will get to take a look at the process. We want applicants, we want everybody, but at the same time, our sponsor license is also at risk. So we don't actually want to use our school. So thank you.
Hi again. My name is Akoji. I don't think I introduced myself the first time. Okay, so I'm a body and I represent study. Just to add to what she has said, I mean, besides one of my partner universities, I said a lot. There's a group that actually gives this kind of feedback to the API, and I think one of the best in Nigeria is a sitting chairperson of that group. The group is, I know it's EULIA. We are able to feed back to that group. So once in a while, we can address this with UKVI. Again, based on what my partner university has said, the credibility interview is there to support students. And I would also like to encourage you to stop competing with students. Yes, we know that they want to get back. Yes, we know that everybody is moving out for immigration, but you're spending a lot of money already on these courses, on these countries you are going through. Why don't you want to sit down and do the research? The UKVI official asking students about their modules. Trust me, they don't know the modules themselves. So it's up to the student to be able to convince that immigration officer to say, this is what I'll be learning, this is what I'll be learning in my second year, in my third year, in my fourth year. The student is not sitting down to do that research. There's no way they can convince somebody that doesn't even know about their course. Do that across all of our universities. Call students and support them, have a conversion. But again, I think the work goes back to the students. If you want to spend all of this money to go and study abroad, please take the time and do the research. We shouldn't fulfilling students anymore. Gone are those days when I think we used to do it in the past. I mean, when I started out in this industry, when students are going to study abroad, you see them putting in a lot of work, a lot of research into the university, into the location. But these days, you just see a student come to you and say, any cheap university. No, it doesn't work that way. So I think we need to encourage our students to sit down and do the research that they need to do about their courses, about their university, about the locations they are going to.
All right, thank you so much, everybody that has contributed. Thank you. I'm sorry. And thank you to my honorable members here and to the most valuable partners. Thank you so much. Please, a round of applause for yourself. And you dey clap for yourself. Oh. Okay, on this note, we'll be having a tea break. Please, this is the arrangement. Those at the back should go first. Then, so before it gets to those at the front. So, for smooth running of this call. So, we'll be having a tea break now. Then you can have time for recess and the likes. We'll be back in 30 minutes. Thank you.
Canada Focus Schools. And taking this particular session, we have three of our schools, which we have University Canada West, we have Sheridan College, we have University Niagara Falls, then we have somebody from Study Group. She will also be talking about the available options that we have for US. So what we are looking at right now is how Canadian schools, institutions in the US are going to help us to how Canadian institutions are ensuring student and partner success despite evolving policies. So this is what we are going to be talking about. So the first of the list that we have here is Mrs. Omalade from University Canada West. Please let's give her a round of applause, please.
So the question is, how Canadian institutions are ensuring student and partner success despite the golden policy? So how is your going to help us?
My name is Omalade Grillo, and I represent University Canada West, and I'm also going to speaking. I'm also going to represent University of Niagara Falls. So please, I know you have a lot of questions already for Canada. Before we go into the questions and answers for Canada, I'll just quickly speak to, let me talk about what we are doing to help agents and students in Canada. So before I start, I wrote something down. I said, based on, I took that cue from the UK questioning and all. So we are not a visa agency or shortcut provider. We are university delivering real outcomes. So I want us to have that at the back of our mind. So at University of Niagara Falls and at University Canada West, we offer similar programs, similar tuition. I'll just quickly go about that. So what we are doing as an institution, we are ensuring that our programs that are aligned to Canadian workforce priorities are what we are giving students. So it's no longer business as usual, like you always know for Canada, where somebody comes to you and then you give them, okay, do this program, you, your family, then you travel to Canada. No, it's no longer business as usual. So in Canada today, they are looking for students who also will contribute to the workforce, to the development of the country. So while you have all of those benefits, after benefits of studying in Canada, which are certain to a large extent, what are you also, or what is your student contributing to developing that same nation? So last year, 2 years ago, we had a lot of visa denial, like visas were returned back to applicants and all of that. And one of the reasons was the fact that the applications were not properly packaged. So you see applications packaged to show that I'm leaving this country and coming to stay here. And that's no longer allowed. So like was saying, one of the reps was saying, you are going to study. That is your first priority. You have to ensure that you show your application in that regard. So I came out here so that we are deliberating. I know you feel things, and we are seeing things from a different light here, and you are seeing things from a different light. That's why I came. Let's talk. Let's deliberate. What are the issues that you are facing? Number one, visa denial, and then there are a lot of policies going on around. Oh, like last 2 months, they said, okay, now you have to pay first year fee. Now you cannot go with dependents. Now you have to get PAL. And all of this was actually done to regulate the way we are all immigrating to Canada. So let me speak to the provincial attestation letter. So last year, Canada introduced provincial attestation letter for undergraduate program. And then this year, that same provincial attestation letter was now introduced for master students. I believe what Canada was trying to do was to copy the tax system for UK to be able to make it easier for students to come to Canada. But still, we have been seeing a lot of denial because the applications were not properly put together. And then last year also there was an issue of colleges not being able to offer some programs, and then colleges not being able to go to Canada with their dependents. So that restriction was really put on colleges, and then they gave masters priority to make sure that you are able to go to Canada with your dependent, and that's still ongoing. So for University of Canada West and then Niagara Falls, what are we doing to help our agents? So our tuition used to be 20-something thousand a year, and then when we saw the massive denial, what we did was let's slash the tuition to help students. So from 20-something Canadian dollars, tuition fee is now 16,000 Canadian dollars for master's program, and the same goes for University of Niagara Falls. The minimum tuition 15, and then the maximum tuition 18,000. And then we also saw that students were struggling. They were struggling paying tuition deposits. And then what we did was to bring down the tuition deposit from 8,000 for University of Canada West to 4,500. And this is going to be able to help students to be able to pay a large extent and then still show the proof of funds required of 22,000 Canadian dollars. You know, unlike before where you have to pay 8,000 and then you have to show so much money. And then another thing that University of Canada West did was the graduate foundation. You know, because of that embargo that was put on masters on colleges, so a lot of students that had family that wanted to travel to Canada through diploma programs or colleges. So if you have foundation, if you do not meet the requirements of maybe a second class offer, you have second class lower or PG or third class, for some cases, you'll be able to travel with your family by applying through the graduate foundation and then traveling to Canada with your family. So that's another thing that you and UNF has been able to do. And then work placement. So we always say that 93% of our students get jobs aligned in Canada before graduation or while they graduated. So at University Canada West, we have something called Career Development Center. And I'd like to say this, for Canadian institutions, wherever you are not, you cannot go about talking about it because your license can be taken from you. So when we say that 93% of our students get jobs lined up, we know what we are saying. So we have a particular particular office called the Career Development Office. And then we got reports that students in Africa are usually very shy. So you always wait until you graduate, or they always wait to graduation before they begin to look for job. And that is not okay. So what the Career Development Center did was to put a lot of career advising, resources, materials, and all of that on the student portal. So if you apply for a student now to University of Canada West, for instance, and the student gets an offer, they get a login details that helps them access the My UCW student portal. And there you see the Career Development Center. It's an office and also on the portal. The student can decide to go to the office, and students can also access a lot of materials to help them with job transitioning in Canada. And then there are jobs that is posted every month. Jobs both on campus, jobs outside campus. And this is one of the greatest things that we are doing at University of Canada West, to ensure that while you are studying for your 24 hours per week, you have the job, and then you are building your Canadian experience till you finish and then get your full-time job. And so the same thing for University of Niagara Falls. And then in terms of housing for our students, we know that there's a lot of issue regarding housing and all of that. So what University of Canada West has done is to partner exclusively with for stay.com to make sure that every time the student gets to campus, they have a suitable accommodation based on their budget, starting from 800 Canadian dollars. And then for University of Niagara Falls, 675 Canadian dollars, and all ensuite. Everything the students need is all inclusive in the room. Then all of our programs are PGWP eligible. That is to say, any program you study at University of Niagara Falls, University of Canada West, you are going to get 3 years postgraduate work permit. Also, if you have family members, maybe you are the wife or the husband, and then you have dependents that are less than 16 that wants to study, they can also go to Canada and study for free under you in Canada. So that's a good one. And then if you have spouse, they can also apply for the open work permit. While you are studying as an international student, your spouse can also work full time, but you must work 24 hours. So one of the issues regarding immigration and all is some students after they graduate will say that they did not get 3 years to graduate work permit. So what we discovered was a lot of students, when they get to Canada now, instead of them obeying the 24 hours per week rule, they abandon their study and then they continue to work full time. You know, a lot of them come to you and say, okay, how can I do? Once I just have my first year fee, I will get the rest of Canada. Yes, it's okay. You may get the rest of Canada, but you must ensure that whatever rule will always come back to bite you later. So always advise them 24 hours is 24 hours so that it does not affect your PG, your beauty. So I'll stop there. I know you have a lot of questions. And then before I go, a lot of agents that come and then they tell students, don't worry, apply, you will get the visa. Please never assure your students that you will get the visa. In Canada, the school is a separate body. The IRCC, they are separate bodies. There is no way that the school will say, because yes, you are the one bringing that money to Canada, then you should be able to come and assure my students. Because I've had agents that will say, okay, tell your school to write a letter to IRCC and tell them to answer me on time. So please always let them know they are different bodies. And you can have all of the monies and then still be denied. So please know that applications that you are submitting to Canada beyond the financials, that you need to look at it on case-by-case basis. So whatever you are bringing into the table, what if you come, you say you want to go to Canada, your story is different from his story, But what a lot of agents do is you go online, you say, okay, documents for processing Canada. You pick it, you download it, okay, you have money, and then you submit that application, even if it's 100 million, can come back denied. I have submitted application of a 100 million